Oh, I love that.
That was the announcement I got.
Go.
All right, everyone. Welcome to the very first episode of Scion of the Dark House, a Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition podcast. This is going to be a gothic horror podcast, so there may be some material that some people are uncomfortable with. Please be aware of that. I have made sure to make sure that I'm aware of each of the players' lines and veils. If things like blood, gore, horror, violence, trying to think of various other things may hit a line. Maybe this isn't the podcast for you. We love your support, but your mental health is important to us. So without further ado, let's jump into the story and introduce what's happening, what's going on, and hopefully get some exciting stuff going tonight. So our story begins in the land of Gothia. It is a deeply forested country, cloudy, rainy all the time. You don't see the sun almost at all, barely any blue skies. The landscape is littered with small rural villages and abandoned castles, Gothic, imposing on the landscape. Legends of vampires, ghosts, things that go bump in the night pervade the land. The cities are broad, almost cathedral-like. Every alley, every back street, a cathedral in itself, towers, buttresses, stained glass. And yet there is a deep divide and a deep underlying sense of horror, which is what brought you all together at first. One of you having gotten an assassination contract for two targets who happen to be doing some nefarious things with dead bodies. Others being called by visions or literal calls because a house is ejecting great amounts of neon green smoke and making people cough and choke and gasp. Either way, the four of you came together in your own separate ways with your own separate goals. As people ran screaming and zombies kicked down the door to the house, you fought valiantly. Let's try that again. You fought valiantly through the house, defeating zombie after zombie, corpse after corpse, until finally everything was at rest. The guild members took your statements as to what happened, paperwork was filled out, and finally you were let go, and you could go and rest in whatever bed you had to go to. And our story truly begins as you guys have risen after a day or two of rest, having stuck together after gelling so well during battle and zombie defeating. You all are sitting at the breakfast table, perhaps in the Nail and Headstone, the tavern at the center of town, near to the outreach hospital. A lovely breakfast of perhaps bacon, bread, maybe some sort of leftover stew, perhaps. So one by one, all of you may introduce your characters, race, class, maybe a sentence or two about what they're doing, what their motivations may be, other such things. And we'll get the story started from there. Who would like to start?
Go for it, Yofi.
Okay. What just happened? There we go. So that's just my tits. Okay. So my name is Yofi. I will be playing Arthur, a unfortunately dejected loner type half-elf ranger and hunter of the undead, accompanied by my faithful beast companion Jasmine, who's been with me since I was a small child. Since the destruction of my village, I have been pretty much just alone, working from contract to contract, assassination, pickpocket, hunt the occasional undead, kill people who I think need killing because that's what suits me. And I don't really care for other people's opinions. The only reason I'm hanging out with the rest of these assholes is because Rerek over here just kind of can't seem to shake him, and he's convinced me it might be a good idea and maybe in my best interest to have some people on my side. So we're going to see how that goes.
Okay. Who's up next? Oh,
that's probably a good segue to me. I play as Rerek Jomungandr, a gold Dragonborn wizard who practices divination. And originally, prophecy brought me to this land. Also, a giant cat caught my attention when I was in the tower, and I asked its master all sorts of questions and all that, and that's how we met. And after our first quest together, the short quest together, I was the one who pulled Arthur out of his room to get breakfast. So yeah.
All right, and then there's me. Hi, I will be playing as Percy Augustus Kreutzwald. I am a cleric of the domain of the grave. And my lovely boy has been living here in Gravesend for about a year now, after I was sent here to work as a plague doctor for the town. I think I probably just came into breakfast after perhaps treating a patient. I come in, pull my plague doctor mask off, and my ever-present fairy friend Lark flitting behind me, I turn to him and say, "You know, Lark, I appreciate your presence, but you don't have to follow me to every patient."
And which introduces me. I'm going to be playing Lark, a fairy sorcerer who is currently hovering behind Percy's head, like at head level. And Lark's he's just gonna be like, "Well, honestly, Percy, I mean, if something were to happen to you and I wasn't there, how am I ever supposed to repay my debts? One mustn't go with debts unpaid. You don't do that where I'm from." And Lark's just like chiding him softly. And I think I've described Lark before as like a 2-foot tall himbo with butterfly wings, which canonically Percy forced him to start wearing real people clothes instead of like Tinkerbell meets a stripper outfit, because that's what he showed up. He's let's just say he's a little new to Gothia in general, and a little like out there. So yeah, he's just going to be like, no, it simply wouldn't do if I wasn't there. And I mean, who knows what could happen? One of them could try to stab you or bite you, or who knows?
It was a child with a case of the flu, Lark. It's just it.
Yes, the children in this town tried to rip my wings off. I wouldn't be half as surprised if one of them did try to bite you.
So I take a seat, looking at my companions here, who I recognize from the previous night. Good morning.
Good morning.
White.
Lark's just gonna look around for the cat cautiously.
That might be wise. Arthur likely has nothing to say until something of note piques his interest. Until then, it's probably just going to be him and his porridge.
I will definitely. I'll try to call over a servant to request some porridge. Excuse me, can one moment.
And let's just say it's a middle-aged woman. She's starting to gray a tiny bit. I see one of our familiars has joined us in the background there.
Jasmine, is that you?
Gray hair starting to comes up. Oh, yes. How can I help you?
I kind of look at what Arthur is eating.
am vegetarian.
He's vegetarian.
It's lovely to know.
Thanks for the info.
Porridge for him, then, I suppose, and I'll have eggs, please, and sausage.
All right, that'll be coming up in a little bit. And she nods and she walks off. And there's
Lark's just gonna be like, what do you have by way of fresh fruit?
We have apples. That's about it.
I suppose an apple will do.
All right, I'll get an apple as well. And she kind of scurries off. And there's a good moment of silence before the door to the tavern just bangs open. And in the doorway, doubled over, one hand on the frame, another hand on the hip, breathing hard, is a half-elf with short red hair, sort of expensive looking clothing. But he also has sort of a messenger bag. Which one of you is Percy?
It's I. Are you all right?
Yes, I've just been running all over, looking for you. I have a letter for you, and he pulls out an envelope, which is notable because envelopes are not a sort of, at this point in time, common practice between just people sending letters. Generally, they'll just fold the letters over. So the fact that this is in an envelope is surprising and noteworthy. Okay. It is addressed to you, and the seal, a big red wax seal with a ribbon, is very obviously the lawmaker's seal from Morning. This is like you've been summoned to like serve on a jury, or you're getting sued, or other like really important things. The seal has a shield on it. Hanging above it is a scale. It's divided into 4 quadrants, with the lower left having a tower and the upper right having a diagonal rolled up scroll. And it's pretty hefty paper as well.
Gotcha. So I'll come over. Thank you. I try to I reach into my bag and I offer him 10 silver for running over here for me.
He kind of takes it and he's like, oh, thank you. We don't get paid much as lawyers' apprentices. But definitely read that. It's really important. I would get killed if you didn't.
Oh, wow.
Figuratively, don't worry.
Okay. Very well then. The sarcasm definitely didn't really land for Percy. And I sit back down at the table and start opening I guess I use the kitchen, the butter knife I have here to lift off the seal and open it. And what do I see?
It is a very finely written letter on a very nice piece of parchment paper. It also has a seal stamped on it. It has a few signatures at the bottom just to notarize it and things of that variety. But the letter essentially states that you are going to be the recipient of a large estate. It also encourages you to come quickly to the town of Gallows at the very edge of the Darkmoor Valley, where you will be signing paperwork to obtain this house. There is a lot of sort of talk in this letter of this sort of legal back and forth. And the writing, while it still maintains an official language, it's not too hard to kind of read between the lines and see this person is like, I've filled out too much paperwork. This will make it end. Please, I beg of you, end it. The hand is very stiff, and I did not write down the name of the lawyer, but I believe it is Vendriana is the signature, and it implies that you'll be meeting with her at a tavern called the Busted Casket in Gallows, where you'll be signing. And that is the contents of the letter.
So I take a moment to absorb all of the writing. Oh dear, this isn't good.
Oh,
Care to
what's
share
the
your
matter?
news with the rest of the
Sorry,
class?
it's just my family's estate has been passed on to me. I wasn't expecting that. I'm supposed to come to Gallows immediately and have a meeting with Vendriana to secure the property. This is wow. Forgive me, but do you all know of the manor? Have you heard of its tale?
Hasn't everyone?
Yes, of course, it's a foolish question.
I
So you
haven't.
must understand why I'm apprehensive of this news.
Quite.
The manor has been mentioned in the prophecy. That's why
You've been quite elusive about this prophecy. But I must return. I have business that I would like to attend to near Darkmoor. So this is perhaps a sign of what's to come. Maybe perhaps a good future. So I believe I should follow it. And despite how foolish that may seem, but you've all proven yourself capable. So perhaps you would accompany me. I'm sure somewhere in the house there could be riches that you could take for your troubles, but I would rest easier knowing that I was not traveling to such a place by myself.
No one should have to bear the loss of family alone. You will have myself and Jasmine with you.
Thank you.
and so am I. I have to see this prophecy through. And it seems to be unraveling right in front of us.
Very well. I appreciate it.
From my perspective, I don't really know much about this estate, but the way you're acting makes it sound dangerous, which means hopefully my debt can get paid off faster than I thought.
Yes, I did not imagine you saying anything otherwise. So thank you. I appreciate your offer to help with this. So I suppose we should finish our breakfast and prepare for the journey. This letter says it should be rather immediate, my presence being requested. So I guess speed is of utmost importance.
It's about this moment that the woman that went back into the kitchen brings out the rest of your food, the bowls of porridge, the eggs, the apple, sets them on the table, and she kind of just bows and goes back to the kitchen, presumably with some of the other people that are also in the tavern. There's other things to be done. So Is there anything that you all would like to do before you inevitably leave for Gallows?
Arthur, having no interest in putting pleasure over practicality, would do nothing other than shovel his porridge into his face and immediately ready himself.
Wonderful.
I have a literal dragon mouth. I can just put the entire bowl in my mouth and be clear with it.
I think Percy might want to stop by the Healers Guild one last time to like top off on his healing kit and perhaps say goodbye to let his employer know, hey, I'm leaving. Like, that can be quick.
Yeah, you do end up going back to the outreach hospital, and it's pretty easy to just pick up some of the things you're missing: bandages, maybe a syringe just in case, some tinctures, basic herbs, other things that you might be using. The people that are working there, they just keep going on with whatever business they have.
Yeah,
This is kind of one of those places.
This is
that
my
people
farewell to all of you. I've appreciated you not listening. Okay.
Yeah, you do get a few strange looks, but this is kind of a place that a lot of people just get dumped for a time for various reasons. So your goodbye is kind of awkward at best. And so about maybe mid-morning, you guys head off down the road out from Gravesend. As the town of Gravesend begins to grow smaller and smaller in the distance. Actually, quick question. Have you guys done something like rented a cart, or are you walking?
How far is this?
I will say that if you are walking, you can probably make it to Short Drop Run, a sort of place where there are 3 villages kind of awkwardly situated and triangulated around a crossroads by evening. You know there is a tavern there that definitely has rooms open called the Maggoty Grave. You'll probably get there by the evening. If you rent a horse and carriage, you'll probably make it there by late afternoon or so, and then it's about that time to Gallows. Sure. So you're going to be stopping either way, just because it will be nightfall before you reach Gallows. Gotcha. On the horse and cart, but you'll be closer.
I've no opposition to walking.
I'm like, are you sure? I would feel bad, requesting this of you and making you hoof it all the way.
Not at all. It's something Jasmine and I are quite familiar with.
Well,
my walking pace is rather fast, as I'm a 7-foot-tall dragonborn, and I stride instead of walk.
Very well, then. I kind of like open up my coin purse, and you can hear like a like as it's like empty. I'm like,
a single fly buzzes out.
And I'm like, I suppose walking it is then.
So you guys
say that Lark's just gonna like giggle to himself slightly. He's like, what? Walking? What?
Try it sometime. Maybe you'll work on those dinky little leg muscles of yours.
So you do end up walking. Gravesend grows smaller and smaller in the distance. You walk mainly for the first part of your journey. You begin walking through trees, the lovely forest in the cloudy afternoon, midday light. The wind begins to pick up a little bit. You notice the trees swaying in the wind that's picking up. The clouds begin to grow darker. Eventually, you reach the edge of the forest, and there starts being fences and wheat fields. And as you pass, there is an ominous moment, a strange moment where you pass by a scarecrow that's been standing at the edge of a field. And the breeze hits it just right so that the scarecrow turns to face you. Its sackcloth face, droopy and staring. It feels weird here. But you know this to be, or at least those native to Gothia, know this to be the area of Short Drop Run. And as you get closer and closer to the intersection where the Maggoty Grave is, the clouds have gotten very dark. The wind has picked up heavily. The clouds are almost swirling in a circle in the sky. and the air begins to grow green, and you can smell the storm coming. You make it to the Maggoty grave, a sort of leaning building, not more than 100 feet from the intersection. No buildings around it, just vast, empty fields with the silhouettes of windmills off in the distance. The house the building, the second floor is almost leaning like it's going to break off and fall forward. It has that sort of extended beyond the first floor sort of look. As you get in and you open the wooden door, the wind whipping so hard that it almost rips the door out of your hand and slams it open. You all come in and shut the door just as this roll of thunder hits and the whole building shakes. And you hear rain, as if a sheet of rain has just slammed down onto the building. And everyone in the tavern just looks up at the ceiling for a moment before going back to their meals. You've made it just in time. The tavern owner walks up to you. Hello, how are you all doing this evening? He is a very large man, almost like one of those strong men, where he definitely has huge shoulders, huge biceps that are as big as someone's head, this big barrel chest, getting a little bit of a belly, but the muscles are still definitely there. Bald on top, probably smoking something similar to a cigar or a pipe. Seems you made it just in time. We only have soup this evening. I hope you're all right with that.
It's quite all right. It definitely seems so. Are storms like this common?
You would actually know that, yes, storms like this are common. Gothia is constantly cloudy, constantly drizzling. If it doesn't drizzle like once a week, people get a little bit freaked out. It's just that kind of weather. It's basically England weather. So this sort of stuff isn't that uncommon.
Cool.
Well,
What's
there's
in your
certainly a
soup?
fireplace.
Lark's gonna ask the innkeeper, what's in your soup?
Well, there is beans and some ham.
I am vegetarian.
These are the concerns that you have.
Yes, and
just
also,
the
how
ham.
did this man get this big?
Well-
Sweet Jesus, what have I gotten myself into?
I'm not sure how to answer that question. We do have bread and butter and plenty of jellies, if you would prefer that. Just sorry, you all are a very strange group. But come.
No one
sit.
needs to ask if the bread is gluten-free. No, we're all okay with bread.
We have plenty of seats by the fire. And he kind of walks back and he starts filling up bowls and putting things on plates.
So yeah, I guess I'll walk over there, and as we're going, I'm gonna kind of be like, so how does being a vegetarian work for a dragon? Maybe never mind. It's fine. Like,
Oh, and well, my backstory for this is because so I grew up in the desert, and it's either you try and grow your own oasis or grab whatever bug crawls into your area. And I'm like, I'm not eating bugs.
Egyptia
delicate.
is also known for its exotic fruits. It has figs, pomegranates, coconuts, pears, all kinds of just a vast array of fruits. So there's plenty of things to choose from, as opposed to Gothia, which is kind of a bit limited on fruit. You got apples, and anything else is kind of a luxury.
that's a good of an answer as any, I suppose.
You sure though? I mean, bugs, they seem tasty to me. At least the ones here.
That is weird. I was
I
actually
don't think
thinking
what you were eating
maybe
were
you're
bugs,
friends
Lark.
with- I was thinking you were friends with bugs.
Soup, soup, please.
This time,
Anything
actually,
to fill their mouths.
you see a sort of boy with short brown hair kind of come running through, grabs the plates, and kind of sets them down. I'm sorry, we're a bit slow tonight.
No, take your time. It's
Of course, you wouldn't happen to have a horse to tie up, would you?
no, we don't. We don't.
Oh, that's all right. Makes my job a lot easier. And he sort of sets all the plates down and runs somewhere else in the building.
Well, I feel bad for that poor lad.
Is child servitude common in this plane?
I suppose it is. Yes. Perhaps he's.
They're called
son.
apprenticeships.
in a way, I guess you could call them that.
I am weirded out by that question as I am 15 and I don't know what constitutes a child for you people.
All right. Well, can I just get like a vibe check of the bar or something, or of the room? Can I do a perception check or something? Or
Yeah, actually, you can give me like an insight check if you want to.
okay. All right, that's gonna be for insight. 17.
Oh. Yeah, people seem to be basically minding their own business. But there is, with a 17, kind of an air of there's something changing in the area, and people are a bit uncomfortable with it.
So I'll bring a bit of a strange air in this room, wouldn't you agree?
Upon hearing that, it's wise that I ask Jasmine to check into some things. So can we use her keen smell to see what's going on here?
Okay. Also, you can give me, I guess, just a perception check.
Okay.
And I think because she has keen smell, she gets advantage.
Correct. Let me see here. Let me get my dice.
And I guess since you're playing the UA Ranger, you can kind of get a little bit of this information from her of like what she's smelling and things like that, I think.
Stupid question. Which
9.
dice? How do you know which dice to
Almost every single roll, attack rolls, saving throws, and ability checks are the D20.
Okay.
It's only if you have to roll a percentage or if you're dealing damage that you use almost any other die.
Right.
Cool. Okay.
So what did Jasmine get?
She must be hungry or something because I got 2 9s.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's kind of picking up on the food, definitely. Probably doing the thing where she like stares at you, waiting for you to give her some of the ham that's chopped up in big chunks in the soup amongst the beans.
Like, do you just feed her what you eat, or do you prepare something special for? I've never had an animal in such close proximity before.
She eats whatever I eat, yes.
Ah.
Although she is partial to small flying things, so you may want to have your friend keep his distance.
And I'm just taking note of this. Interesting.
At this point, the tavern keeper also walks over. Are you all searching for a room as well, I assume?
Yes, we
Inky.
would like to stay the night, if that would be possible.
Lark's gonna look at the tavern keeper like completely innocently, and he's just gonna be like, "What? Innkeep? Why does it feel so weird in here?"
I just kind of like jab him a little bit.
He's just gonna bat his eyelashes and just be like, he's pretty much asking like, "Why is the vibe so off?" Except he's just being like, "Why does it feel so weird?"
Well,
Forgive
recently,
my diminutive friend. He's unaware of social graces.
oh no, it's fine. You're traveling through. You should probably know what's going on. There are rumors that there are things in the woods, possibly undead things. There haven't been any deaths thus far, but people have reported seeing things.
What sort of things?
Shambling, human-like shapes in the fog or the trees, footprints where there shouldn't be any,
That is
dismembered
true.
body parts hanging from trees, the occasional scream in the night that is wholly unnatural, those sorts of things.
There has been more undead activity than normal recently.
Perhaps.
By the gods, I'd say.
Well,
Well, it'll be 7 silver a night for the room, and 2 of you can fit in a room. There are about 6 currently available. They are rather small, but they are relatively cheap.
Jasmine and I will have a room to ourselves. Thank you.
very well. Well, Lark, you're small enough to probably fit in the cupboard, so maybe the rest of the 3 of us can fit in one.
I was
Works
kind of
then.
looking forward to room with a cat. But
You continue looking forward to that.
Well, that'll be 14 silver then. I'm not sure who has the silver. Okay.
Conversion rates is an interesting question at this point, like, above game. I have 30 gold pieces. That's what I started with.
Okay,
19.
so I think I set the conversion rate at 10 copper pieces is a silver piece, 10 silver pieces is a gold piece, and then 100 gold pieces is a platinum piece.
Oh, I thought it was 100 silver to make you gold. I way over tipped that. That messenger.
Yeah, I skipped Electrum because fuck Electrum. And I just did it by tens so that the math was easy.
All
I
right.
mean, we feel ways about things. Good to know. All right, so that leaves me with 29 gold and 3 silver.
Okay, so yeah, he does take the gold, and
I'll
he gives
give him
you
7 silver. And,
he gives you 2 keys. These should be right at the top of the stairs. And he
Cheers.
then leaves and continues puffing away on his cigar. And unless you have anything to do, the night begins to wear on, and you probably eventually will head off to your rooms.
sure.
I suppose that's wise.
So is there anything that anybody is doing currently?
I think I might actually take a second to talk to Arthur, because I maybe as we're all about to stand up, like Arthur, one moment. I recognize you have an affinity to the undead as well. Am I correct?
Affinity is a fine word for it, but I suppose your assessment is correct. Yes.
Well, I too feel sort of an attachment, some sort of calling when it comes to death. But hearing the plight of these people has made me feel concerned. And I was wondering if perhaps you would also be interested in seeing if there's something to be done about it.
Well, To be entirely forthcoming with you, I had no intentions of sharing, but since you're interested, I was going to do some investigating on my own. You're, I suppose, welcome to accompany if you like.
Well, 2 minds are better than one, so I'll agree to that.
Cheers. Then let's away while these two sleep, unless you're
And you guys are still here, right?
floating
So
friend, like
If you're saying this in front of Lark, he's just gonna be like, "Oh, you." He's gonna just like lightly pat the side of Percy's head. He's like, "You can't even see in the dark."
I
And
can
again,
try
I
to get
couldn't
light.
either until that time I almost died. But that's neither here nor there. I'll be your eyes.
I was actually gonna say I was also going to investigate the perimeter because of how
right,
everything
nosy.
was. Because I'm nosy AF. And I heard you talking about investigating, and I'm like, me too. Make it 3 heads are better than 1.
3.5.
I suppose we're in this together then. How shall we start?
Well, I suppose outside. Good idea.
Perhaps we could ask one of these lovely folk where it's coming from.
That's a good place as any. I guess can I make another insight check to see if anyone here looks particularly like sad or distraught or bothered? Like,
Sure. Yeah. Make an insight check.
oop, that's gonna be a 9.
No one seems particularly distraught. They all seem almost kind of grumpy, kind of taking,
Sure.
time to themselves.
Shall we find someone here or head outside?
I imagine the fine folk of this village are quite used to strange goings on and wouldn't be rather forthcoming. I think we should do some investigating near where we had heard the goings on were occurring.
Perhaps.
Indeed.
I am worried about the storm though. But
It has slowed. It hasn't entirely stopped, but it's probably just drizzling at this point.
okay. So what's
And if a little rain is enough to discourage you from what could potentially be armies of the undead, then I really do fear for the future of this party.
noted. Shall we go? Head on over, I guess, to just the general woods, because that's kind of just the only.
Well, the woods are a bit far away.
Okay.
You are currently near. You would know that you are currently closest to the town of Wailing. There are 3 towns, kind of in a triangular formation. There's Weeping, Wailing, and Gnashing.
Lovely.
If you wanted
names.
to go to the forest, Weeping is probably the best to go to because it's kind of amongst pine trees. Wailing is basically all wheat fields and windmills. And Gnashing, it's farthest away, and it is close to a tree line, but it's not like in the woods. And it is quite a bit, probably a half an hour of walking to get to either Wailing or Weeping. Maybe an hour to get to Gnashing, but they're all rather close.
Well, I mean, he's 7 feet tall. That one can fly.
How much can you fly through the rain?
This? It's not going to bother me at all. I only flap these for effect, honestly. And with that, Lark's wings kind of stop vaguely fluttering and he's still just floating there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Right,
All for
right,
drama, I
right.
suppose.
We're born for magic, darlings. We don't need to move to fly.
Mm.
I don't know if I've ever thought about when I fly, actually. Do you have to think about flying here?
Are you thinking about it right now?
No. I'm just kind of
Well,
doing it.
was that your answer?
Hmm.
So we're not in any of these three towns. We're just like near a town in an inn?
Yeah, there's
Okay.
an intersection in the middle, and then
That's sort of
the
where
towns
we
are triangulated around it.
Okay. So what I'm sorry, I'll write it down now. What was the one you said that was like the most populated one?
The most populated one would probably be Gnashing. But the one in the woods, if you wanted to check the woods specifically, would be Weeping. It's the one that has a watermill, and it's in amongst kind of a forest of pine trees. The one you're closest to is Wailing, and that has a shit ton of windmills.
All right.
Just a brief moment here. I gotta pee real bad. I'll be right back.
Just like
That gets me time to set up stat blocks.
Oh boy, that's not
because it's getting cold.
menacing. I thought this was just going to be a lovely tromp through the woods.
Well, I mean, it depends on how you look at lovely tromps through the woods.
Oh, I'm getting cold. I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I guess it's supposed to be like part of the thing. But I was gonna ask, like, is there a way to find out which way a certain noise came
That
from?
would probably be a perception check.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we came out and we came out of the tavern and we're just standing there. So we're like and there are places to go, but we don't know which way.
Yeah, I think we're just debating which town to go to. And I guess probably the smartest, if the one mention of the woods we've gotten so far. Weeping is probably the best bet, but we're closest to Wailing. So I guess would you prefer all of you to? He mentioned woods, so perhaps Weeping, which is closest to the woods, or we're nearest to Wailing.
Above game.
Mm-hmm.
I have a thing. Let me just double check some stuff really quick because hang on, I forgot about my primeval awareness.
Oh.
So if there are undead nearby, I can tell you. Spend 1 minute.
How nearby?
Yeah. Within 5 miles.
Oh geez, that's better than mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think yours is like 30 feet.
I think it's like 60 feet, but not through like solid barriers. Like.
Yeah.
Yep. Favorite enemies within 5 miles. It reveals which enemies are present, their numbers, the general direction, and the distance.
Jeez.
And also, if there's more than one group of them, I get that information for all of them.
That's wild.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Mine's just like, hey, there's a zombie somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I think it lights up. So you have to. I think you have to be able to see it. So if it was like behind a door, you wouldn't sense it. But if it's like standing in line of sight, it lights up, so you know exactly where it is.
More for like detecting through illusions or something like that.
Oh,
yeah, okay.
I am also proficient in perception, apparently.
Nice.
Cheers.
So that means your perception is better.
All right. So I guess Arthur. So do you have any insights in this then?
Quite. Just a moment. Arthur takes some time, sits down on the squashy ground, not being bothered at all by the mud under his ass. Yeah. And spends a minute in concentration to see if he can reveal the location, direction, etc. of aforementioned undead.
Okay, so you get little blips from the woods around. Off in the distance, there are just like groups of them, not really more than 3 or 4. The most powerful signals you get is from what you presume to be a windmill. It's only a single presence, but it's a pretty powerful presence from a windmill. You also get another powerful presence off in the direction of Weeping. And you actually get, 1, 2, 3. You actually get 4 presences, shockingly close.
How
At
close,
the intersection,
exactly?
about 100 feet away,
Okay.
there are 4 presences. And when you look, it's a tree that's hanging kind of over the intersection. You saw it when you were first coming in. There was enough light to see it. However, in the darkness, as you guys kind of focus on it, most of you with dark vision notice that there are 3 bodies hanging from the tree all of a sudden
Oh,
that are like right there.
well, that does not bode well.
What doesn't bode well?
Okay,
I
so
see dead
Arthur,
people.
yeah, Arthur shares the information with the group, lets them know, of the various groups, the multiple powerful presences, but most immediately that the danger is much closer than we originally expected, and points out.
Also,
tree.
these aren't powerful presences, but they are presences. Actually, wait, did I calculate that right? 1,
Are you saying that
2,
the hanging bodies
4,
are
yeah.
undead, or?
Yes, the hanging bodies are undead.
They really
Well.
should put those in the ground. It's a waste of nutrients.
Yes, that is the problem we're facing right now.
Quite.
I agree.
Powerful or not, I can't resist the opportunity to wipe the scourge from the face of the earth. So
We can't leave these people unprotected.
So I'm assuming you guys are going to creep up to the bodies.
Yeah. Can I also, since I guess I can't see super well, I'll still use my detect undead thing, just so I can like not have to worry about not knowing where they are. Once we get
Well, I
within
think it only lasts for 6 seconds.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
You probably want to use it when you're like right up on the tree.
Yeah, we'll do that.
So, well, less question and more just statement. So one of Arthur's flaws is that he's not really one for plans. So the most likely course of action is that he probably would get tired of the talking pretty quickly and just pull out a bow and start shooting.
Sure.
Okay.
So we're like, oh, so perhaps we shall engage, and then you're just like, sure.
All right. So
Way ahead of you.
How far back are you from the tree? And also, which one are you shooting? There's one that's hanging higher up. There's one that's hanging over the road, and there's one that's hanging very close to the tree and kind of bumping up against the trunk.
So if I remember correctly, you said 100 feet.
Yes.
And let's go for the one that's higher up. Why not?
Okay. Take a shot at it.
Okay, fair enough. Hang on, let me get where did I stick my phone?
And after that is
go.
probably a good time to roll initiative after that sort of strike.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
I gotta get my dice.
am going to lose that page. Okay.
I have a feeling a lot of our combats are going to start with Arthur getting a hit off first, and then the rest of us rolling initiative.
It's probably gonna, like, me as a person, I'm real sorry about it. Arthur,
No, it's
he don't give a
great.
shit.
Good. We love a
He
character
doesn't give
flaw.
Well, so that was like the worst shot I've ever taken in my life. I guess the rain like got in my eyes, and y'all look at me like I'm retarded. That was a 10. That's what that was.
Actually, that hits.
Fuck yeah!
These things, at least the thing you shot at, does not have very high AC. And I have lost the page. There it is. Okay. So yeah, it does not have very high AC. So roll your damage, please. As I write down this thing.
Let me get my die. That would be 8.
All right. Oh my goodness, I can't do math in my head. What's 22 minus 8?
14.
Yeah.
14. All right. So yeah, you hit this thing and it sways before it drops to the ground. And the other two drop to the ground as well and start shambling towards you. And I need everybody to roll initiative.
Okay. Now, interesting question. Do I... This was never mentioned in the UA material, so do I roll initiative for Jasmine too, or does she just go right after I do?
I'm gonna say, since she is in the UA material at least a spirit that you have summoned, she goes immediately after you. Generally, like companions roll their own initiative, but things you summon go immediately after you.
Ooh,
So I'll say she goes immediately after you.
some spicy lore for Arthur. Summon Jasmine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what's cool is if she dies, I can just bring her right back too. So, all right, cool.
More notes taken.
Well, like one combat, your cat's gonna die, and I'm gonna be like, oh my god, and then you're like, no, it's cool.
I honestly, I would probably be heartbroken. Like, been with me forever. Like, okay, hang on. There we go. 23.
23 for Arthur.
Yes.
Damn. Percy
Got
got
advantage.
16.
16 for Percy.
Yeah.
8 for me.
Rerek got an 8, and Lark is
got
getting
a 4.
4.
Oh,
okay.
I rolled a 2 and I get +2.
Good for him.
4.
Out here doing God's work.
So one of them got, I won't reveal which one, is got a 13. I didn't roll for them, sorry. 18, my goodness. Sorry, I'm flipping through multiple books here. I should really pre-roll these initiatives. And last one is that. Okay. So first up, obviously, is going to be Arthur. There are 3 corpses that are shambling towards you. They are 100 feet away. They've just hit the base of the tree and started shambling right as initiative kicked off. So what would you like to do?
Are they within 5 feet of each other?
Yes.
Cool. So I'm gonna cast Hail of Thorns, bonus action. Let me see here. And that is 19.
To hit, which one are you hitting?
Let's go with the one that I already fired at. Let's go with that one. Oh, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's cool.
Okay. So obviously, if it's a 19, you hit because it has a very, very low AC.
Cool. So, boop, 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 boop. That's gonna be 10. So go ahead and make a dex saving throw for each of the zombies.
All right, I'm actually going to get my calculator open. So a dex save.
Yep.
One of them got a 13.
That's safe. Okay.
It passed?
Yeah, passed.
Okay.
Yeah, the
next
DC
one
is 12.
Oh, okay. Oh. One of them got a 17.
Okay.
So 2 of them passed.
Okay.
This one's going to be... Ooh, that one just made it with a 12.
Okay, so they each take 5 damage.
Oh, there's another one.
Oh, there's another one?
Yep.
Oh, bitch.
There's
Oh, man.
4?
That one failed.
Okay, that one takes 9.
Okay. But
9
every
piercing.
other one
Yeah,
takes 5.
correct.
Okay. So that one is at that. That one. I should really look up who's next on deck. 23. Interesting. Okay, that one's up next. So 17 minus 5. And then, oops, that is the one that failed. So the one that failed takes 9, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Also, I definitely screwed up on my bow attack, but it's cool. We're just going to go with it.
Oh, okay.
I forgot about my favorite enemy damage bonus, but it's no big deal.
All right. Okay. So
you got your damage for that guy?
I got the damage for all of them.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it exploded.
Are you calling that first shot I took my attack action for this turn?
I think casting it is a part of the attack. I think the spell has an action, right? It's an action, or is it a bonus action? Bonus action. Okay. So then I think the arrow does deal damage on top of that, I think.
Yeah, I haven't. That's just a spell. I haven't. But it's on a hit with a ranged weapon. Hang on, I'm stupid.
So that's why you rolled.
Yeah.
You rolled the 19, which hit, and then it exploded onto everything else. If you'd like, you can add the arrow damage.
Yeah, because I didn't roll for that yet. Okay, so that would be 1d8 plus 4 piercing plus 2 because they're undead. 7 plus 4, 11, 2, 13.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you shoot this thing in the head. The head explodes and these thorns shoot everywhere and just shred these things. And that's when you notice something incredibly weird happen. One of them, their body drops to the ground and their head remains floating and actually begins to speed up. The other one, as the thorns hit into it, the skin opens up around the chest, peels off, the limbs of the loose flesh flailing as it slides off, leaving only a skeleton shambling towards you. And this other thing now crawling across the ground, weirdly half inflated, its arms sometimes the skin taut, as if there's something solid in it, and the others half deflated as it weirdly warps its way towards you. And it is up next the skeleton's turn, which it's too far away to do anything, so it's just going to move 60 feet towards you.
Do I get to move Jasmine at all?
Right, there's Jasmine.
Yeah, I mean she's not close enough to attack, but I can move her. What, 30 feet closer?
Okay.
50 actually.
50.
Yeah. So we'll just have her do that.
All right. So she's there, and the skeleton makes it 60 feet, so it'll pass by her. So I'll give her an opportunity attack on the skeleton since it passed through her threat radius.
Cool. All right. Well then, let's see. I've actually never rolled for beasts before. Oh, okay. Yep, I've got her. She's right here. Let me get my 20. Okay, 1. Hang on. I'm just double checking my shit. Yeah, that's pretty rough. That was only a 7.
Oh, yeah, she missed. She swipes out with her claws as the thing shambles by, but it's shambling so weirdly. It almost looks as though the skeleton has kind of been crushed by the skin that was wrapped around it. and that causes its shamble to be off kilter, and she just whiffs trying to swipe out at it, thinks she's going to get the leg, but she doesn't, and it moves closer to you. The next is the weird flesh thing that is also going to crawl. And this time, it's actually going to avoid Jasmine. It's going to crawl. It crawls very quickly, but it's going to crawl and try and hook around her so she doesn't get attacked. And next up is Percy with Rerek on deck, although there's a monster before you.
Cool. So, how many of them are within 60 feet of me?
The horrible skeleton and the weird waving inflatable flesh monster.
Right. I think I'm going to target the skeleton because he's weirding me out. And I'm gonna kind of like see my hand like light on fire. And I'm like, you will die at the hand of Satan Hypatia's sacred flames. I'm gonna throw a sacred flame at him.
All right, and I believe that is a dex save.
Yes, I got a crit. I got a nat 20.
Oh, well, sorry to tell you that you wasted it, but it's a dex save on my half, I think, is what Sacred Flame. I think Sacred Flame is a dex save.
Then again,
Sacred Flame's a saving throw cantrip because I don't think clerics get an attack cantrip other than like storm clerics and lightning.
Yeah, you're right.
So it has to make a dex save.
Well, I'm still gonna hold that crit in my heart.
Oh God, I'm sorry to tell you, it critted on its saving throw.
Oh my God.
So once again, still the weird jerky movement of this crushed skeleton, it just whoosh by its head.
Well, am I next?
I also like position myself in front of everybody also.
Okay. And the flying head is just going to fly 60 feet closer. So they're all 40 feet or so away from you.
Okay.
And now it is Rerek's turn.
Question. How far apart are these things from each other?
They're just charging at you. So they're probably about 5 feet.
Oh, sweet.
So it's kind of like weirdo flesh monster moved, so I'll say he's 10 feet away. Then the skeleton and the head are 5 feet apart, but the skeleton is 10 feet away from weirdo flesh monster.
Sorry, you cut off. What was that?
Oh, so it's weirdo flesh monster, 10 feet, skeleton, 5 feet, flying head, and they're charging at you. They're 40 feet away.
Okay. I'm such a freaking noob. So, which spells can I use? Like
any of them, as long as it has an action as the casting time.
Yeah, one action.
Yeah.
I want to use the Earthen Grasp, Maximilian's Earthen Grasp, to try to stop one of them. Which one's the fastest?
They all seem to be moving at the same speed.
Okay. Oh gosh, the weird one.
The flesh monster?
Well, I feel like if I use this, it won't be able to. Oh, you know what? I'll use it on the skeleton and the flying head because they're 5 foot.
I think you can only target one creature with Maximilian's Earthen Grasp.
Well, it says you choose a 5 foot square unoccupied space. Oh.
I knew I should have gotten out Xanathar's guide.
Here, else. You know what?
Yep, like a noob, I have not. It is.
Sorry.
That's all right. We're all
and reaches for
points.
one creature you can see within 5 feet of it. Targets must make a strength saving throw.
Saving throw. Okay.
Yeah, so you got to pick one.
Okay, I'll just pick weirdo monster.
Weirdo flesh monster.
And I think this is a
It's a strength save. Ooh.
What kind of throw am I supposed to do? Nothing.
I make the saving throw.
Oh.
Saving throws are the people that are getting affected. Attack rolls are the people who are casting the spells.
Yeah.
So it's a saving throw, so I have to make it. You don't have to do anything. You just have to say, it happened. So
Happen!
I'd like to think that literally is the way he casts.
It's your word of power.
There's no incantation. He just points his
Maximilian
fingers and just yells,
grass.
happen!
Happen! There you go.
All right.
On the weird jiggly monster.
So what does your particular hand look like when it comes up out of the ground?
Like whoop.
All right. So it got a 15 on its saving throw.
Okay.
Did that pass, or what's your saving throw? It should say in your character sheet your
13.
spell save DC. So it passed by 2, and it doesn't deal any damage if it. I feel like I should know your spells. Okay.
The target. Yeah,
Okay.
There was a bludgeoning damage if it was caught.
Okay.
And restrained. It would have been restrained and bludgeoned.
Right.
Well, the hand missed. As the hand comes up and begins to curl around, this horrible flesh monster squeezes through the fingers down onto the ground and continues crawling towards you. Is that everything you would like to do with your turn?
As an action, it says that I can cause the hand to reach for a different creature or to move to
I believe that was part of the spell. So you can move the hand, I think. But you've used your action to cast the spell.
Yeah, moving the hand would also cost another action.
Okay.
We are crushing.
So you have a bonus action and a movement speed. And that's all right. We're all at different points. Some of us need refreshers. Some of us, are learning. So.
2 of us have missed now. It's all on you. It's all.
It's all on little
Lark.
fairy man.
Come on, Lark.
A little himbo flying thing.
Hello.
So, you're done? My go?
Yes.
Okay. So the 4 of them are approaching, or does Jasmine
3 of them.
Jasmine has one lockdown, kinda, or the 3 of them are approaching.
The 3 of them are approaching. There is the weirdo flesh monster, the skeleton, and the head.
Okay. And
the head is flying.
All close-ish together, right?
10 feet between the flesh monster and the skeleton, 5 feet between the skeleton and the head.
So there's 15 feet between the 3 of them.
Yes.
I'm going to. So, I mean, Lark's kind of just watched everybody go at this fight, and like the last 2 just completely, and he's just he has that like slight like, is this? I swear they were better at fighting when we dealt in that house full of zombies. And he's just like, I mean, I suppose I can help. So he's gonna pull out his arcane focus, which we had that idea. It's no longer that. It's just gonna be like it literally just looks like a twig or a switch. It's a little bit weird if you try to examine what kind of plant it is, because spoiler alert, it's not from the material plane at all. And he's just going to be like, I guess I can help you all out. And he's going to cast Fairy Fire, because racially he gets Fairy Fire added to his spell list, and once a day he can cast it for free. So I'm going to cast Fairy Fire on the 3 of them. So I need Dex saving throws from all 3.
Yes. One of them got a 2.
Okay, that failed.
So that is definitely a failure.
Yep. My spell save DC is a 14.
This one got a 22.
Ooh.
And they're rolling really well. That was another natural 20. And this one got a 17.
Okay, so which one do I like?
The skeleton lights up.
Okay.
And then I just go, are we gonna die?
You might.
I might.
So,
um,
I believe.
Oh,
Is there anything else that you would like to do with your turn?
yeah, I'm gonna. How dangerous does this skeleton thing look?
Like a skeleton?
Okay.
I have no gauge for how dangerous the
Not
skeleton is.
awesome.
Well,
Not
Not
amazing.
On a
great
scale
vibes.
from 1 to wood chipper, like how close should I get to it? Like,
I mean, it's probably more like a 2.
yeah.
It's not wood chipper.
So at least the skeleton is lit up. So if whenever anybody attacks it from here on out, they get advantage on it.
Mhm.
Do I want to spend? I'm not gonna. You know what? I'm just gonna fly 30 feet up into the air, away from everybody else.
All right, that sounds
Like-
good.
30
Very
vertical
nice.
feet up, so that we're not all sitting together.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm going to do.
All right. So now it is Arthur's turn.
Hot.
The skeleton is lit up. It's also looking pretty battered, as is the flying head. However, the weird flesh monster seems to be fine.
okay. So I want to know what's up with that thing that ain't moved yet.
The zombie, you killed it.
Oh, I thought you said there were still 4.
Mm-mm.
You missed
Oh, okay.
3 of them.
So we're just dealing with the 3. Okay, cool.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Death. Yes.
I thought there was like
that's
an
One of them
opposing
was
figure standing-
One of them was like 2 things in a trench coat
And
that
it-
just popped out, and then like
Okay.
the world's
All right,
worst
got it.
Jack in the Box.
Got it. All right. That sounds fun. Okay, let me I should have been thinking a little bit more clearly. So we've got what creature is 10 feet past Jasmine?
The skeleton is the closest because
Okay.
it passed directly through her threatened radius, and she got that attack of opportunity.
Okay, gotcha. Is there anything that's more than 20 feet away from her?
I don't think so.
Okay, just double checking.
Yeah.
Okay, then we are going to I gotta protect my kitty. So
Mhm.
like is there another creature within 5 feet of that skeleton that's close to her?
Yes, the flying head.
Okay, cool. Let me think what I want to do here.
I will say those 2
Yeah.
look very battered.
Okay, so I'm just gonna. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna fire an arrow at that skeleton.
All right. Give me an attack roll.
Yep, and that's all I'm gonna do. Hang on. Oh, definitely hit. I don't even need to add the rest of it. That was an 18, just the die.
Yep, that definitely hits. Roll damage.
Yeah, that definitely hit. Okay.
Finally.
Okay. 11.
11 damage. You shoot for the rib cage and you hit dead center. Skeleton explodes. Bones go everywhere, rolling across the floor. It's definitely gone. Is there anything else you would like to do with your turn? There is still the head and the flesh monster.
Arthur's gonna move as close as he can get to Jasmine.
Okay.
He's 30 feet, so I guess 30 feet forward.
So you'd be 20 feet away from Jasmine since she could move 50 feet?
Right. Yep.
Yeah. And the head is between her and you. I think the head is going to be 10 feet away from you.
Okay, that's fine. So definitely well within her movement speed. So she's gonna move toward the head.
Uh-huh.
And then we're gonna go for let's go for a bite attack.
All right. Roll damage. Roll for an attack.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, I'll roll damage if you want. Like, I'm totally cool with that. 11, 15.
Ooh, that is a miss. She leaps up to bite at it, and it does a weird bob movement and flips upside down and is just out of her grasp, but it is still hovering awkwardly.
Should have
In
gave
the
her more
air.
ham.
So next up is, yes, the weird flesh monster, which I believe is close enough to you, Arthur. It's going to move towards you. And it's going to make 2 slam attacks against you. So the first one is an 18 to hit.
Oh yeah, I'm yep. Yep.
Luckily, that was only 4 points of bludgeoning damage. And it's going to try again. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 22 to hit.
Yeah, hit. You definitely hit.
7 points of bludgeoning damage.
Mother of God.
Yeah, this is an interestingly scary creature. And also, as it hits, it grabs onto you. And you watch as this thing pulls itself onto you and wraps around you like a bodysuit. Your arms are crushed to your chest as you're trying to get out, but this thing wraps itself around you. And you can feel the muscles of this thing tensing tighter and tighter and tighter. And that is the end of its turn. And up next, I believe, is Percy. You've just watched your friend have this horrible flesh thing wrap itself around him.
I did see that. So just can Percy try to make an assessment of if he hits this thing, is he also going to be hitting Arthur? Like, is Arthur going to receive damage?
Let me read real quick.
I mean, Arthur's kind of an asshole, so it's not like he wouldn't have earned it. Like, he definitely didn't give a crap at the beginning. Like, you know what? We're just gonna fire. Just do that.
You get the sense that there is a possibility, but it's only if you like swing really hard at it.
Okay. Cool. In that case, Percy's gonna try a guiding bolt on the flesh thing that's surrounding Arthur.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll make an attack. That is it's a 15 to hit.
Yep, that hits. Roll damage.
Sweet, that's 46 radiant, I think.
Yep.
D6, there it is. All right, that is a 5, a 6, a 3, and a 5. So that
19.
19 damage.
All right. Yeah, this thing is looking super rough right now.
All right.
The radiant damage has burnt its flesh. It is barely holding on. It's smoking. There's still that sort of holy glow around it.
Release him, monster!
And next up is... Next up is the head. That is because Jasmine just took a bite at it. It's going to take a bite at her.
Come at me, bro.
That is a 17 to hit.
Sucking ass. Yep, that hits.
So she is going to take 4 points of piercing damage.
Uh-huh.
And 4 points of necrotic damage as well, as this thing bites into her, and some of her fur begins to coil up and curl up and die as this thing lets go of her and floats back.
Yes.
Back into
What
the
are
air.
you doing with my cat's friend? I mean, my friend's cat.
Okay. Point of order question. I never bothered to ask. I know we were taking max die for HP for our characters. I never bothered to ask if I should do that for Jasmine or not. So right now it's just the rolls. Okay.
You should take
that makes
max
me feel-
for her.
Okay. Cool. All right. So 8 total. 4 piercing,
yes.
4 necrotic.
Yes.
Okay, we're good. I got it.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'm assuming
Oh,
she's
that
still
makes me
up,
feel
but
so
she's
much
looking
better.
pretty hurt.
Oh, she's not dead, and I'm very thrilled about that. Yeah, we're good.
All right. So after that, the head is gone. So Rerek, it's your turn to go.
Wait, the head is gone?
No, the head is still alive.
Oh, okay.
As
'Cause
is
I
the
was-
flesh monster.
Because I was going to attack that one. I have
My
firebolt.
heart can't handle another like cerebral palsy hand. So
Sorry. Oh. I'm going to attack it with a firebolt. I have a firebolt up here.
The head?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Roll for attack. And you'll add your
I have a
spell attack bonus.
+5 to hit.
Yes.
I have a 7.
You rolled a 7?
Yeah.
Oof. Doesn't hit. The fire bolt just goes
Doesn't it
wide
have
as this thing
advantage on it?
bobs in the air. No, it's advantage on the weird flesh monster.
Oh, I thought the fairy fire was on the head.
No,
Fairy
it was
fire
on the skeleton.
that went down already.
Yeah.
Ignore me.
So it is now Lark's turn.
All right. 2 seconds. I'm just looking up the wording on a spell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Lark's like 30 feet above everybody, kind of assessing the battlefield. Between the 2 undead that are left up, they're both a little hurt, but one of them's more hurt than the other, right?
Both of them are super damaged.
Super damaged. Okay. Well, I mean, I feel like it's better just to get her done. I feel like, because it's getting. Lark's just gonna be like, oh wow, this is happening. He's gonna so he kind of like bippity boppity boos with his wand and swings it in the air a few times as a few sparkles come off of it that are like, it's fine. But well, actually smoke, because shadow magic. He's gonna cast Scorching Ray.
Ooh.
And he's gonna send one bolt at the one that's guiding bolted, and then 2 bolts at the floating head.
Okay.
So this is going to be, since it's been guiding bolted, that gives him advantage on the attack on that one. 14 plus 6 is 20.
Yep, that definitely hits.
So that's going to take 2d6 fire damage. 9 fire damage.
Yep, that thing is dead. You hit it and it burns, and silently it unravels, waving its arms on fire before the fires go out, and your friend Arthur has been released from its clutches. It falls to the ground, almost piling like a loose just roll of fabric dumped on the ground, and it is dead. You just have the head left.
I feel like the scorching rays take the shape of little fiery pixies for a hot minute before they just slam into things. So the other 2 are going at the floating head. Shit. Sorry, that's a 10 and an 8. Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah, I rolled a 2 and a 4.
Yeah, this head's unnatural kind of bobbing, flying in the air causes these fiery pixies to swoop by and completely miss. So at the top, we have Arthur again. You take in a deep breath as now suddenly this thing that was wrapped around you, smothering you, attempting to crush you, has been blown off of you. And there is now only the head left that is looking between all of you. And it is looking really damaged. It's almost floating a bit lopsided. Oh, you're muted.
I was vaping. I didn't want that to be like irritating. I think Rerek's probably the only one who knows this. But the smell of burning flesh is pretty damn traumatic. So I'm gonna go ahead and like not move this turn, but I'll take aim and we'll just fire another arrow.
And it is,
yeah.
I believe it is about 15. No, probably only about 10 feet away. So I think you would technically have disadvantage on the shot since it's close ranged.
I don't actually know how that works. Is that a thing? The range is 150, so like.
Ooh.
Well,
Yeah.
when you make an attack, when you make a ranged attack with something within a certain footage of you, you do it with disadvantage unless you have a feat.
Yeah. So what's the shortest distance that it goes? There should be the first number / second number. Yeah. So what's the first number?
First number is 150.
I guess because it's a longbow. That's weird.
Oh,
yeah, it's 150 and 600.
It's 5 feet, by the way, guys, for disadvantage on range attack.
Okay. So yeah,
it's within 5 feet.
Okay. Yeah, you're fine then.
So we're fine.
No disadvantage. It's 10 feet away, so no disadvantage. Just roll your shot.
Okay. Cool. So we got. Oh yeah, that hits. 23.
Oh yeah, that hits.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see here. D8 to 11.
All right. You fire the arrow. It hits it in the eye socket, and the head does a twirl in the air before it hovers for a moment and falls to the ground. Everything around you is now dead, and you are out of combat, standing in the dark, drizzly rain with weird undead creatures littered around you. What would you all like to do?
I need a sample.
Have a drink.
Well,
I bet.
why were these creatures so close to town? It's unlike them to be so close to civilization.
That's a mystery that remains to be solved.
Can I like investigate one of them?
I was saying I need a sample. But didn't the wriggly creature like disintegrated or something?
It is very, very burnt. It's still there. Like it's still in a pile. You could pick it up like a carpet. It's a horrible image. It's like a tiger skin rug, except a person. But it's pretty charred, and there's probably some holes in it now.
Lark's gonna descend, so he's back down at like eye level with everybody else, and he's gonna just be like, maybe we should check the tree.
It's a good idea.
Tree that they fell out of.
Yeah, I'll head over there.
All right.
So this is why we keep you around. I mean, my intelligence is garbage, so like I need to not be the one to be investigating things.
I should go with.
Yeah, come on. All right. I guess I'll just make a perception check and like on the body under the tree and like around the tree.
If you'd like to make an investigation check, because that's actually like poking at these things, you know.
Yes. Oh, I got a nat 20.
There's nothing weird about this tree. You look at it, it's It's a regular
tree.
tree. You get the sense that the tree is not the thing that is causing this. This is just a convenient hiding spot that these things found, popped up in it,
Okay.
and laid in wait.
Mm.
I'm gonna look at Arthur and I'm just gonna be like, Lark's just, apologies, but I'm not exactly, I haven't been around this place long. Is this not normal for you all?
You mean the swarms of undead hanging from trees?
Yeah,
No, we no. Mm-mm.
okay.
It is abnormal. Yeah.
Most certainly. Usually corpses tend to be in the ground. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that carries from where I'm from too, for the most part, but it just it feels well, maybe I'm just not used to the funny things that happen in the mortal world, but I mean, two incidences of this happening in such a short amount of what you call time just feels weird to me. I was thinking it was, just
You're
part of
muted
the-
again,
part of the
Yofi.
material plane. Hmm?
Well,
Oh.
hopefully
Well-
it's not a sign of things to come.
Well, speaking of ground, according to our prophecy, it mentioned something about Black Earth. Can I investigate the Earth?
You can investigate the earth, or you could give me an Arcana check if you'd like.
Why?
Various reasons.
The
Okay,
Arcana check.
okay. I will do the Arcana check.
All right, roll it.
16.
You get the sense that the term earth is not used in a literal like clods and handfuls of dirt. It's more of the sort of planetary aspect. Something is going to rise up from
this
within,
world.
from the world, possibly. Not in a, this is the location, you get the sense it's a lot broader of a concept.
All right. Well, that was useless.
Are you all quite finished?
I believe so.
Perhaps.
Lovely.
What does this
Well,
leave us now?
plenty of enemies abound, though I recommend we get some rest. At least myself and Jasmine. She's not doing well.
If I would allow me, I could try to heal her.
If you'd be so kind, I'd appreciate that.
Sure. I don't know if I've operated on summoned, and I don't even know that she's summoned, so I just assume she's a regular, like, big cat. So
Yeah, she's kind of both, like, until she dies. Like,
cool. So I guess I'll kneel down next to Jasmine and like do my best. I guess I could give her like an animal handling check to make sure she doesn't like bite me.
Yeah, give me an animal handling check.
I rolled a nat 1.
Oof.
So I'm like,
You
good,
lost an arm.
good kitty. And
like picks up her tail and like looks at her butt, like.
Are you sure you're a trained professional?
I don't do it on cats very often. I'm more for people healer.
That's definitely not what that's supposed to look like.
And I take more notes.
But I'm assuming you're like command her to not attack me, so I'm gonna use
She won't. I haven't decided I don't
cure
like
wounds on Jasmine. Let me go up there. Cure wounds. Where are you, cure wounds?
Didn't that wriggly thing wrap around you? Doesn't it have any, like, I don't know, substance on you?
Where is Cure Wounds? Oh my god.
No. If you actually want to like look at it and pick it up and touch it and things, it's really leathery, devoid of like any kind of fluids or liquids or anything like that.
Jesus.
Like I said, it's basically like a
gods.
carpet.
Okay.
There it is. Okay, so
Only
yeah, I just
a
do
person.
Yeah.
1d8. Okay, so I restore 10 health to Jasmine if I'm able to. I don't know how healing someone things works.
Oh,
As
Kyle, are you still
there are
there?
no special rules in her
Cool.
thing, so yeah, she's good. Very
As
much
I kind of
appreciated.
almost noxious green like light come out of my hands, and I pour it over her. And
Which introduces you to Jasmine's character flaw, which is if she decides she likes somebody, she pounces on them. So
oh, good. So I'm like, okay, thank you. Okay.
yeah.
Oh, is she killing you? Lark pulls his wand out briefly.
Like,
Maybe Arthur, could you do something about this?
It's I call her back and it's fine. She's just decided you're a friend for what reason I can't possibly imagine, but I suppose I'll trust her.
and then Rerek, he understands. I'd be like, ha, he likes me. She likes me more than you because she just attacked you.
Oh my god.
Like,
yes,
yeah.
that's
the opposite.
precisely how that works. Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right. So back to the tavern then.
I think food, yeah, might be good.
Can finish our soup. I don't know if we ever actually finished our bowls.
You probably did. It was probably half an hour to an hour, maybe.
Sure.
Maybe more.
In that
Food,
case,
short rest, kill some zombies.
maybe a long rest, but a good solid 8 hours.
Yes.
It is
Color
getting
me
very,
excited.
very close to the middle of the night.
So let's hit the hay.
So y'all head back
Indeed.
to the tavern. It's relatively dark. There's still some fire going in the fireplace. It's been let go. It's gotten low. Nobody's really added anything to it. It's quite quiet. And you head up to your rooms, and whatever division you guys have, sleep manages to find you. It is a bit uncomfortable sleep, seeing as how you did just deal with some pretty horrifying things. But sleep does find you. And I think this is where we are going to end episode 1. We're going to go right into episode 2. The audience, of course, will have to wait a week, but we'll be going right into episode 2. I think I can pause the recording and then start it back up. So if you guys want, we can have like a real quick bathroom break.
Sure.
All right.
2 Trulies in, so like
Sounds
I'm gonna
good.
need that.
Oh my.
Yeah. So we will be back in a little bit.